Good.
Oh, problem.
Oh.
One suggested we turn off the transcript because it was really, some of the
Yeah.
transcript stuff was pretty,
By 10:30 today.
Oh, sorry.
pretty off.
Yeah, no, 10:30.
Oh, like the voice track, wait,
Yeah, or like really off, like some of the words were like
oh,
really not correct.
gotcha.
I was like, I gotta figure out how to do that.
Okay, yeah, that's, yeah, I have some expectations for that because it's the first one. I want to make sure that we do the right job.
That's what I'm worried about having to be adequate resources.
That's what I told her. I said, you know,
I'm worried about it.
I'd rather pay Compardo to have more than enough.
There's those three dots and more.
I'd rather go with you, to be honest with you, the kind
This
of.
thing I think is just being up there at the TV.
Yeah,
Trying to like get my bearings.
That angle.
So I was asking
Yeah.
about like your collection event this
There
last
you go.
Saturday, how many, you had 200 people. Well, I lead out, we got
There we go.
I don't know, at our, I can say that, our expo.
It's easier than you thought.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
300 plus, actually. we had-
Normally it's like hit 5, like leveled in, and then
And this is
there
a
it
completely
is.
different place and a completely different times.
You gotta be on a lot of those in your world.
Usually there's,
Yeah,
when we've done them before, there's usually.
I was hoping you were saying, oh,
like-
so I'd be jealous.
That's-
Probably not as much.
So, I mean, there's just a point where we say, you know, we need to have high low, we need to do it more like we do this, do a back.
That was Friday's though.
It's different,
Because everyone
it's a totally different
from our
thing,
area.
like,
Yeah.
more space.
they
You may have to
travel
look at,
Monday through
like,
Thursday.
Friday,
Friday.
they bring up comfort, we used it for the last 3 years, they all, they give us a package. They said, this is what you cost. Regardless. This is.
Well, we have a package that we do like that.
Okay.
For people,
But no,
that's what I do, like, that's what I've been told, so,
Yeah.
Tom, how are you?
Let's chat later, right? If you want.
We're in the show today.
Yes.
I saw that.
I've been so busy that this has not been a priority, so.
My son
I
dressed
ran
me
a
last
archery
week.
training thing yesterday, so
First day, or technically,
Yeah.
after a couple.
Yeah.
on to the next, so.
They train them early.
I don't think we have.
I'm not gonna disown you.
Yeah.
I think we do.
Do we?
Right, yeah.
Yep.
It's
Let me
easy to
see,
be
we
a
got
pump
Matt.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4,
It's just all you get.
7,
Carrie,
8.
Yeah.
11,
Yeah,
yeah.
but all the
we should,
ones
yep.
up
Okay,
north.
we do.
Yeah,
It is.
All right, I guess we're gonna call this thing to order.
Yeah, do you know?
Okay, we're talking.
It explains. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Norm heard about
The first roll call is for everybody that's here, you signed in, so. Now, remember, I don't run many of these meetings, so you're gonna have to give me a little grace. So, and a little reminders of things I need to do, so, it might get hilarious. So the first thing is the approval of the minutes from June 25th.
Make a motion to approve the minute. I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? I remember that this
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public comment. It's just Jane. So. All right, next one is, we don't vote on moving the agenda, do we? Or we just?
Yes.
Yes, we, okay. So to approve the agenda that was sent out for this.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll support.
So I guess. All right, any discussion?
Candy. That's what it does support.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on, we're cruising to this thing. Be out of here in 15.
Kelly's meetings, that goes.
I nominate Dan to be the new.
That could be a train wreck. Anyway, discussion item, DPA plan.
Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of discuss what the current plans are. I've been, hitting some things, since the last meeting. So I want to provide like a staffing update. We have posted currently, internally the position for the new, because we're union, the staff are union. We have to post, certain positions internally first and then, start there and then you post it externally. So the specialist position that was approved for the grant is posted internally. There were some good candidates, so I think next week we have interviews for that. And then so we'll do, I think next week have interviews for the specialist position. And then, depending on those, hopefully we have the specialist position filled. And then, HR is their, hiring staff, group for HR is a little overwhelmed. I think they have mainly 2 people for HR, so, and we've had tons of, like, I wanna say over 30 to 40 people apply for the temporary, fully funded by the grant position, so I've gotta look through like 40. I was overwhelmed with the amount of people that applied for the other position. So we're going through those. So hopefully, that position will be, this month, well, not month, so next month we'll be going through those, so that position will be getting filled soon too. So we'll be able to start really getting that person on board and filled. It's also hard for there's only 2 people that are able to do it. To help with HR, so that puts it kind of slower at the, with HR, so only 2 people that can assist with that. They're also trying to hire their own HR staff, and so. We're working on the staffing part with that, as well as, I'm working with, setting up meetings with our, Ottawa County staffing, so with, Paul's team. I met with GIS, IT, so that we can internally start prioritizing, the planning process, so that we can start really hitting on what we need to do, the data, compiling what we do have internally. And really get a good plan of how we can do materials management plan, and then once we get a good plan, maybe we can present that kind of to you guys too, like, hey, this is the plan. So,
Sounds great.
yeah, so strategizing, essentially. So I think I have some of that. I think Paul's team, I think I have that next week, so, because Paul's out on vacation, that's why he's not here.
Cool.
So. That's kind of what I wanted to kind of lay before you, so. Essentially, working hard. Getting things done.
Have the consultants been hired? Are they on board?
That contract just went before the board yesterday, so. That like finalized stuff, so a lot of stuff went to the board. I had a whole bunch of contract, like, I wanna say like 5 contracts that were, like, they call it ratification. So they were like signed, they were like finalized, so. But yeah, so they're fully executed now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have them for like backup. So essentially the idea with the consultants are, for like, ooh, you're not quite sure about something, we have them there, so they're,
And Molly's still our contact.
yeah, so
So
she's
good.
there, yeah.
So Molly, for those who don't know, she's also on my materials task force at the city of Holland. For a different, not as a consultant, actually,
Yeah.
as a resident, and she's
Yeah.
extremely good at this stuff, so. It's my opinion.
That was one of the reasons why we chose them, is they were a very local firm. Even her partner is also local. in the area. I think he's out of like Grand Rapids area.
As long as it's not Matt.
Yeah.
No, it's Matt.
It is Matt.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's local to you.
No, no.
yeah. And he'd worked with Republic before and yeah, so they had a very good understanding of the systems and stuff, so. Yeah, that's, I mean, the biggest update so that I had, that I felt like you guys might want to know, so. And then
Data.
yeah, so the data part was that, at our last meeting, we, really wanted, you guys had brought up, really wanting to talk about data, you know, that's a big thing. And with that, I printed off too, so I took, that giant, you know, when we had that kind of huge meeting thing, and she had that really long thing, I really just kind of condensed it. And it's more of I made it kind of like a focus sheet. I'm not expecting you guys to be like, oh yeah, let's read this every time, and I'm not really to go over it, but kind of like keep in the back of our minds kind of thing. So like when we're talking about the data part, I kind of had it so you can have it on the side. So I have my kind of thoughts and plans for like how I want to focus on data and my tactics and but I wanted to see what you thought and how your approaches on data, so that maybe that when I go forward on data, I can take your approaches so that I can then take it and take yours and combine it, because my thoughts are, I know my ways and my approaches, but having multiple people's approaches and tactics and then always combining with others just means I have more perspectives and more ways to do something, so then I can increase it and maybe perhaps have a better tool to deal with. So, more the merrier kind of concept. So, so I've started meeting and like I met with, I'm looking over in this corner over here, like Matt should be over there, 'cause that's where you sat last time. And I feel like you're normally over there. Everyone's
do over there.
changing, even, yeah. Everyone's like, I'm changing everything up.
Come on, guys, this is like church, go back.
Yeah, exactly.
Come
on. My plans were to to meet with, like Tom and Airways, and yeah, and just kind of like to start, talking to people that have a lot of data that I might need and just say, hey, start thinking about what data you might possess that I might want and just think on it. I met with Matt and, with WM, like start thinking about data. That, well, not only am I gonna ask about data, but essentially everyone's gonna be coming for data, every county. Here to start thinking about what types of questions, and your approaches, stuff like that. But what I'm trying to do is, yeah, there are different ways to think about it, so. And so I wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
There's two things that I usually do. Is one, I would ask Molly what other folks are doing as far as data, or at least who would Molly and the consultants think are the top counties as far as what they've asked for and the way they collect data. The other thing is I would also reach out to the TRP, the Recycling Partnership, about other counties and municipalities around the country and what they do. Maybe there's some things that stand out to them. And they may also already have some tools,
Yeah,
so.
Are you,
It seems like they
are
do.
you
Yeah.
talking about to make sure we're gathering the same consistent data across all counties?
I would say consistent and then some. We've always,
Yeah.
it just seems like Ottawa, this area, we've always led as far as, yes, we do the minimum, but we also do a little bit
Yeah.
more. So that's what I'm thinking, is making sure that we have the minimum, but we also have
Yeah.
that, have we considered?
yeah, because I also did provide to everyone so they can see literally what what Eagle has provided. As you can see, it's very, very thin.
Very basic.
So essentially what it is, it's very open, so,
Yeah, I did think it was really helpful though, at least to
Yeah.
show some details, at least they're putting that out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I do know that they are trying, there's an effort to do another mega data.
So
Yeah. Um,
can you explain what that is?
yeah,
Is that a top down, like they asked everybody for the same thing?
yeah. So the last time they did a mega data, and I could try to send that out again. Last time it was, to my opinion, a little bit of a flop. And I've told that to Eagle. Because if you look at Ottawa counties, the only haulers are Republic and Waste Management, which is obviously not correct. There's a lot of gap. The gap, there's a lot of data that's not correct. I'll make a note to send that out to the committee again.
So that brings up my two questions. One is how are we gonna address those known gaps?
Yeah.
Like, do we, maybe we should have
Yeah.
some kind of plan to address those gaps. And then number two, what kind of tools do you guys have for analytics of that data you get so you can start making correlations and causation?
Can I tack onto that one? Because that's very similar to my question as well. Can we make even some of our basic data, is there an easy tool that we have that we can just start making it visible?
Yeah,
So it's in one spot, even if it's high level summary at this point, number of landfills, number of haulers, like just start getting all that out there.
so what I did request, so the biggest thing, because that was one, so it came very clear, so we were talking, so one of the teams that I talked to, had meetings with, strategizing with, is our EPI team, because again, what internal resources can I have? As always, it's nice, it's free, public health. Because, it's always nice, free, but then again, I also noticed when we were doing some of our strategic planning, that we've been doing in public health, is we've been doing a lot of these data pooling and making these really nice dashboards. And so we have an EH, two other teams, which is on site, which does well in septics, and then we also have the food team, which does the food inspections. They both have nice programs. Abby had a harder time doing that nice dashboard with mine, because my stuff is a lot of Excel spreadsheets, and so it took them a lot. And I don't have a good way to compare like the people that attend my sites and versus the tonnage that I get at my sites. So then it came to Program Talk, which is a centralized place for data. So I did request for next year a program. There's not many programs that do. So I requested a program for next year, my budget. So pending if my budget's approved, I do have in my request, like what you said, a place where I can store all my data in one place. That would be helpful. And I did talk to some companies out there. There is one that does that, and I did ask if it was capable to talk to GIS. Because then it's nice, because then you can pinpoint. And my hope is that maybe, and I know that I can talk to some of the Eagle data. Because then that'd be really nice if I can talk to the Eagle data, because then I can overlap it. And then, so I can even overlap it hopefully with some of the stuff that's already out there with Eagle. And then I can actually compile a lot more data that way then. So I don't have to ask Eagle for data, and yeah, it'll make a lot of it a lot better. So,
The other thing I thought that was related is some of this is going to probably be beneficial for the website.
mhm,
And I liked how the focus sheet, like included, education, communication and teaching
Yeah.
residents and things
Yeah.
like that. If we're able to just start adding more data
yes,
on there as like facts and data, it just is what it is.
yes,
It'll help educate people.
that's my goal, and that's what.
Yeah.
That is my intent, so and that was the idea with like, if I could do. That's why I love GIS too, because you can connect some of that stuff, and then you can make it more available to the public and to, with you can make it available at the same time. You can kind of, like the dashboards and stuff, then you can show like, hey, we're reaching our goal. Like, look at, Ottawa County's got a goal of this and we're hitting it. And hey, look at our compost rates, our recycling rates. You could do all that and you can educate the public that way and you can really show education. And I've already tried to update our website on certain things and I think we have a really good, like, I like how my website kind of looks. I want to update some more, but timing is everything, so I gotta find more of it. So, and the dashboards that the public health has been working on look really great. They're not quite ready to go out to the public, so. But internally, they've been really helpful to understand, like, I didn't know that our recycling has been doing so good and maybe I'll have our FB team come in here eventually and kind of show some of that to you guys. It's really remarkable the stuff that we do at our sites and actually I saw Dan here earlier. I was like, oh, maybe I should have him come in here. Stuff that he can do with what we do is really great to see. But data, yeah. I mean, I love data, but to make it really speak is really important, so. I have data, I just gotta get to talk.
When we were trying to collect some data for you too, it was
Mhm.
part of our problem was it wasn't very good data. Like the landfills are required to report where all the waste comes from every county. For a recycling side, we didn't have that breakdown. We just knew how many
Yeah.
tons we took, but we didn't know where it came from necessarily. So
Yeah,
that was tough for us.
yeah. So like, and yeah, like when I was talking to him, and I was like, even if you, I mean, I don't need to know, I'm trying to think, we were talking about ways that, like, when we were talking about, even if you can look at your general, like where we're talking about like the address, like even if you can say that your haulers went to like this area, like even if you just look to your commercial accounts, like I don't even like need to know like how much, if you can just tell me if you went to X area, even like if you break it down that way, like just being like creative, just looking at it differently. But
With the new MMP though,
mhm,
well, at some point,
going
we're
forward,
gonna have
yeah,
to report where it came from at the merge.
I
think that retrack system requires it.
It does.
Yeah.
yeah. And that's one of the programs, that's the program that, there's not like there's 100, programs out there designed to look at trash. So retract is one of the ones that,
Have you thought about maybe working with the other municipalities to enter into retract for you? Because we use retracts.
that was the hope, yeah. Is to, because again, at least my biggest thing is always to work with the community, and to be a partner.
This is simple. It's pretty easy to fill out.
Yeah, that would be the hope, yeah. But that would be that, like when I talked about a roadshow before, that'd be part of it, is to see the willingness and the hope that, yeah. Yeah. Because one of the things I had,
Might be willing to
Yeah.
help other than
Yeah.
to show.
yeah, well, that would be part of one of the things that we would, going forward, like when I talked to Paul's thing, when we talked about, see, wasn't quite sure what I meant by like roadshow. So one of the things I had, asked, Drew, I borrowed Drew's intern. Drew is our on-site supervisor. She has some free time. It's because I didn't understand, like, I know there's like groups that the municipalities all, do, and that would be like where like I would have like maybe you help me with because you're a city and you're part of them or head. Is to talk to these groups and it would be, talking to them about it and explaining what some of this work would be.
Yep.
And why it's important. But yeah, so, and then why is data important? Some of them do have contracts, some of them do have, certain levels, like Anna Spring Lake has certain hauler, licensing at different levels. I know Spring Lake Township and Spring Lake Village have different kinds. So,
And I think when we're talking about data too, and looking at some of these focus areas, like
Mhm.
expand access for all homes, apartments and condos, it'd be, good to know like where we currently are and what we're seeking
Yeah,
add curbside recycling and drop offs.
yeah,
We currently have access to.
yeah. Yeah, cause these were all things that how do we get, that we decided that these are areas.
Could you speak to that third one there? And I'm interested in, are there any community compost, those exist?
Us,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So that's about.
our site. Yeah, that's honestly, composting is probably one of the largest ways to increase our rate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And number two, on the next one, the home composting. So I personally don't know a single person who does that, but
Right.
and now I do. Now I know.
and me.
I know a bunch now, yeah.
Yeah.
I do too, I just started.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Where you been?
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
tech world, yeah.
Mhm.
So but I went to the website and it has tons of information on it.
Mhm.
So that one seems like something that people would actually, that's very low barrier
Yeah,
and could be pretty well adopted.
yeah.
That'd be an interesting one to try and figure out how to track though.
Mhm.
If you look, if,
Right, so you do like a home composting challenge that people sign up and
Yeah.
like champion it a little bit.
Mhm.
I've done that.
Yeah,
We,
Yeah.
we did a
Organic
compost
cycle.
challenge,
Yeah, okay.
my backyard posters and,
yeah,
and offer prizes and
Yeah.
make it a fun day and kind of promote the importance of composting.
yeah.
Didn't you do like where the amount of nutrients in the compost too, or you
We had,
tested it
it
or
was
something?
tested and,
Yeah.
and people got to see
Mhm.
what it looked like, and then mainly just for people to get together and talk best practices.
Right.
Like, what
Yeah.
am I doing wrong, just to see, compare what they're doing.
Yeah,
Similar to like what the craft breweries used to do back in the nineties.
Right.
yeah.
So,
And I think that's something that we could, it would be fun to do. We could do that, something similar again, and
Yeah.
maybe something over here with, what's our nature center? I think you did it with, Bland.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had to stop because I was paying for everything.
Yeah, but that's
I-
something
I-
that you can-
Yeah,
I
but
took
this,
that back
we
up.
would
Yeah.
like to.
Easy. I mean, I had
Yeah.
tons of interest. We
Yeah.
had-
Yeah, cause you could do that in partnership with probably, cause I know MSU Extension has
Yeah.
a master composter and. Well, cause James is on the end of the month doing the master composter training to start doing.
Train the trainer, yeah.
Train the
Yeah,
trainer.
people doing
Oh, yeah.
volunteer
Mhm.
for our residents.
Yeah,
But yeah, we would be
Just-
interested
visits the
to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll help sponsor
Okay.
that, yeah.
yeah,
Be awesome.
so, yeah, so the idea is to bring home composting more involved and,
Sometimes it just takes somebody going out, being a champion for it,
yeah.
and people start to pick up on it. And
Mhm.
again, it's just personal, it's an anecdotal, personal experience, but I use half the water on my lawn now because of Paul.
Yeah,
You know, And I tell him
yeah.
every summer, I'm like, Paul, don't worry, I didn't start watering yet, So,
Ironically, last week, Goodwill got a citation for composting on site.
oh, no.
They said cease and desist, right? So we have to
Oh.
stop doing our composting program or change it somehow. So another thing to be
Yeah.
cognizant.
Sorry
of
about
is
that.
What are, that's what I stand. What are some of those other parameters?
Mhm.
This is Muskegon County, so
Yeah.
we're all good
Yeah.
here. But
Yeah.
again, some of those local, ordinances or whatever. that
Yeah.
Might prevent some of these kinds of things from happening.
Yeah.
How do we look at it?
That's a good
Yeah.
point, because I
Yeah.
think Grand Rapids just allowed backyard composting not that long ago.
Yeah, which is why I have on my website option number 2,
Yeah,
which is, having companies
Yeah.
come.
Right.
Yep, that's why I had, I provided 3 options on the website, so like, okay, if you can't do like an HOA or something like that, here's some hauler options, which Republic is. I have Aero Waste on there, your New Soil, right, is there, yeah,
we get data on that in particular, like, maybe it doesn't really matter because we're outside, if we're not looking at outside Ottawa County
Mhm.
really, but it might be helpful just to see where it isn't allowed. I wouldn't have thought of that.
yeah,
But who's
That's-
not allowed?
Yeah,
Oh, there's
we have,
actually
we
places that
have a
have
few ordinances. Yeah, like,
They don't
you
necessarily
can't just throw
enforce it.
things into a pile. We do.
yeah,
Believe me.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, That's, that would be probably part of like like when I do like, I say in my, I call it a roadshow, because I don't know what else to call it, like, when I talk to municipalities, and that's where, hopefully, yeah, to get
Be a
some,
great question.
yeah,
to Find out, because really, if there's a municipality in Ottawa that has some kind of ban on it or something,
mhm,
probably could be loosened.
yeah, I do know,
Realistically.
yeah. I know the laws around composting recently has changed with Part 115. You would probably know the most about it, but, you know, with composting, I know it just recently changed. I think it's become more on the commercial level, it's changed, but not locally, I don't
No.
think, yeah,
Yeah, they turned us into a large composter.
yeah,
Composter,
yeah.
which has made the thing really difficult.
Mhm. Yeah,
There's also just be mindful, right? Like I don't put
Yeah.
product in my compost at home.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to compost at that level,
yeah,
a level that's just beyond my.
yeah,
But if I stick to non.
Great. stuff.
yeah,
My eggshells, my coffee grounds, like
yeah,
super easy, makes great dirt for my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It does.
yeah,
I mean, my husband's been doing it his whole life, he grew up with farming family, right, like, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's second nature, and he is a computer programmer, so just
Ooh.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just, it's
So I
cost
can do it.
savings, right, like, that's-
yeah.
you don't need to
Oh,
throw that away.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Well, yeah. See, because I compost, I would really love it if trash haulers would switch. Some of my recycling comes weekly, and I can do trash bi-weekly.
You can put it out every week. You don't have to put it out every
I
day.
know, I don't, but then I'm like,
Put it out once a month.
I know,
Unfortunately, that's not
But
the
the-
majority of.
I
people.
know, I know.
We could flip the majority, and
Yeah.
that could be a
I know,
reality, but.
I know.
Someday.
Or people would start putting more trash in the recycling, which wouldn't be good either.
No.
Do that.
It's not great to have every other
You can
week
change
trash
it.
in the summer either.
Right.
No,
Like it's
it's pretty smelly, trust me,
winter's.
yeah,
Wait, can you say that again? I missed it.
Well, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
like if, you don't wanna have your trash sitting, depending on where your cart sits, for
Mhm.
2 weeks, depending on what you're putting into
it
it.
is,
Get on that.
In the winter time, it's not so bad because it doesn't.
yeah,
Okay.
Florida does a lot of twice a week trash collection.
Makes
I'm
sense.
wondering about that.
Nuisance.
It's like during the summer or year round.
Year round.
Oh, wow. Plus Cascade invent a new cart that just gets rid of smell.
Gets rid of.
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
yeah, see, mine's
Yeah.
not that smelly though, cause all my sneaky stuff is composted. That or my chickens take
That's-
care of it, that's the thing, is I have chickens, so
That's
why, that's the main reason I do.
That's another reason why to do, he was talking, what Dan was talking about, getting people together about best practices. A
Yeah,
lot of people would like to hear about that.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I don't want my trash to stink. How do I,
yeah,
anyway.
Yep.
MMP format?
Mhm.
Under that.
yeah, but if you guys have any, so I'll end with data thing though, but yeah, if there's any great ways that you guys like to do data or. Yeah, feel free to send them to me too, like, hey, when I collect data or, feel free to send them to me, like, when I look at data, this is how I do it,
I would say that with using caution, of course.
Yeah.
AI tools, you have to use caution.
Yeah.
Some of the new data analysis tools, not ChatGPT, you have to
Yeah.
go outside of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's terrible at data,
Yeah.
in my experience. But Julius AI, there's a few others out there that are actually pretty impressive, and they're
Mhm.
improving at such a rapid rate. Like,
Mhm.
you should absolutely at least play with that, and
Mhm.
you can't turn your brain off. Just to be
Yeah.
clear.
Oh, yeah,
Trust but verify.
But I've been pretty floored by the way that it allows me to visualize data.
Mhm.
Use a lot of, Power BI, dashboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, full.
Yeah,
Visualize.
Yeah.
Has that available, dude, that's.
yeah,
that's
Power BI is
super
a big
powerful.
one, yeah,
Just make sure your spreadsheet data is in tables and then you can pull that
Yeah.
all in.
yeah, Power BI is the big one that IT loves here,
I like that.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm a big believer, I like to just grab a whole bunch of data and just like have it in front of me and just sit there and just see how I can,
What ifs?
yeah, what ifs, I'm a what ifer, like, okay, if I look at it this way, can I pull it this way? And like I said, yeah, I like to have it just all there and just,
I like it.
that's why, like I say, I have data, I just haven't, I just like to get it and just see what I have and
Get some reports out of it.
get reports out of it, yeah. So, and then, sorry. So yeah, so then the last thing is the format. So one of the things we also talked about is actually seeing what the format looks like. So I have it here for you guys. I printed some off in case you had finger, have it right there. As you can see, I do have on our website the actual waste management, solid waste management plan. As you can see that, the one that was online, I've sent it to the former solid waste planning committees before numerous times. But it's also online. It's also on the Eagle website with amendments too. So you can find it different ways. And if you can't find it or are struggling to find it, let me know and I can send it to you directly. But the other one's very long, and this is only 8 pages for the draft version. I think the concept is essentially, here's very basic requirements. And then make it what, your county wants it to be, So, oh, I wanted to make sure you guys had it, so you knew this is what the requirements are. So if you have questions, you can ask. I looked at it, at the base level. I mean, it's pretty to the point, so. You guys asked for it, so I gave it to you. And then,
Just moving to the wrap up. The only thing I have down is make sure if we have any ideas for data collection or needs or thoughts around that, to send that to you. Right?
mhm, yeah,
Don't have anything else really. Guess then we move to committee member updates.
Not to open up a whole can of worms.
Don't be ruining my time.
But, our last meeting, we had that conversation with, the admin folks here. And then I know it's you that sent the email to her about stuff, and is there any like debrief on what happened from either of you guys?
I could provide one, or unless you wanna go first.
I don't really have one, I just have that it's been taken to, it's been, essentially all the materials management stuff has been taken out of, from what I understand. And so, that's all I really have.
I mean, yeah, no, could affect haulers, and we got a lot of haulers in this room.
Right, yeah, so I think what I would say is kind of a debrief from it was, I think the feedback was really well taken.
Good.
And, so I'm sure there were a couple conversations or meetings before I circled back, but then admin brought a team together and I was at that meeting like a couple weeks. I don't remember the timeline anymore, a week ago maybe. I was on vacation for a couple weeks, so my timeline fell off. But they had updated, there's been a couple other drafts, and basically what they did with that ordinance and other things, they took almost everything out of it. Anything related to MMP, anything directly related, they just took it out.
Gotcha. So still push forward an ordinance, but not with materials management.
There's still discussion about it, definitely not with materials management. There's still discussion on actually doing it and kind of using it as one of the mechanisms long-term to capture revenue related to garbage, right? Disposal and everything. But I think it was really well taken that we need time to really work through the details of the actual MMP. I'm happy to share more, but and I haven't seen an updated draft, but it was really short and essentially didn't include any of the other items that we had talked about.
Yeah, I think, I would agree with something like that, because I think when going forward with like materials management planning stuff and ordinance might be something we'd have to do, but yeah, like. Figuring out a lot of that stuff, I would agree that we would need to actually like work through it with all the materials managed stuff at the appropriate time, yeah, because there's a lot of questions that we'd want to figure out in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I think an ordinance is fine as long
Yeah.
as it's tied to a specific plan to work the
Yeah.
process and develop it, right?
So the ordinance is basically stripped out except for fee collection. Is that
Correct.
what's left is they only want to collect a certain amount of fee per ton per year.
Correct. So I think the driver here, and so I hesitate to, I don't want to speak too definitively because there's still some big questions out there. One of the drivers of the existing draft, the minified draft is a financial need. So the county has some legacy costs for that one landfill. Is it Autumn? What's that one called?
By Southwest.
Southwest, yeah, sorry. And so there's still that piece to it, but then the county is looking at needing to figure out what they're gonna do with the treatment on that site. So there's like water treatment, and they replaced a couple pumps like last year, and that's all done, and they're trying to figure out, do they need to do the next ones? Are there any other upgrades? And with everything going on in the world, the costs have increased. And so if the final determination is there really is a a big expense there, big capital expense, then there just isn't any other money anywhere to cover it. So that is basically what's driving that.
In that, do you know, would the existing host agreements continue or would
Yeah.
this supersede it? Those would be,
No, existing host agreements are absolutely untouched. The ordinance is completely separate, they call it a user fee. Some people call it garbage tax, whatever you want to call it, but it's totally separate. And then the fee level, if this goes forward, is that's set by the Board of Commissioners and it's just passed on to everybody who uses the deposits garbage.
And I'm assuming then they understand that that is gonna cost community members more money,
Oh,
businesses more money.
yeah, definitely.
does it still have payments going to other counties like the original one? Cause I think the original ones that we're gonna give a portion. to
No,
Kent County.
all that stuff's eliminated, like almost everything. is
I
taken
think
out.
that would be what would be more tied to the materials management aspect, because that would be a materials management type of structure type thing.
And
Yeah,
I did hear an update on that where I don't have all the details, but they were gonna meet with Kent County and kind of hear, what's Kent.
I was curious about.
Yeah.
How is this lining
Yeah.
up? I have a feeling it's not lining up at all, so.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that they tried and it didn't sound like there was any appetite to do anything. So everybody's on their own.
So is the ordinance, are we gonna see copies of it or get a draft or be any kind of involvement? I understand a lot of the MMP stuff was taken out, but it still does have, enforcement mechanisms and funding mechanisms, which are part of the MMP process. So that's why I'm just,
Right, I mean, I'd like to get a draft to the committees so people, everybody can see it.
Right.
I think more feedback is valuable.
I mean, obviously this committee is for MMP, but it's also a group of professionals in the industry and interested parties that I would like to see it at least introduced or come through, or at least discussed here, to give feedback to the board if they're making that decision.
Chair Kelly's running that meeting.
yeah.
My hope is that the ordinance and all the other stuff doesn't come to the board next month. I'd much rather see it either September or after, but I don't know. So I could keep you updated.
Thanks, Zach, for talking
Yeah.
about the elephant in the room. Appreciate that.
Get it on the
You
table.
and I will have discussions later.
He wasn't bringing it up, somebody else was.
I
Including myself.
I was pushing through. I thought we could get there, but, I'm just kidding.
I thought it was pretty good that we got all the way to number 7 before. I came on.
Oh.
I don't have any updates.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
No,
I'm all good right now too.
Really have any significant updates.
Nothing for me.
I don't have anything, so, perfect. All right, that brings us to public comment. Don't have. So, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Or,
All in favor?
yeah.
All right.
That
Well done.
record time.
Yeah.
Worry about having.
You're hired.
10:30.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you guys.
Extra when I get to the car.
Dan, do you have a minute now?
I do.
You may have to go down to
definitely have
Allen
time now.
County and help them out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
They'll be there late.
Oh, no. I can
I'll
only
come
do so
over here.
much.
I gotta look to make sure no one's.
Heather- yeah, Heather
We did
said-
miss Paul.
I actually have to go. Have been helping them as of late, so.
I haven't been to a meeting on Wednesday morning.